stuff on both sides. We left. Oh,
Welcome to the podcast. Wow, that's loud. Let me bring that down. Welcome to DFG Podcast, Drama Free Gaming. This is episode 020, and we're just going to get right into it. With me today, I have two people. I'm going to introduce, as always, my brother from another mother, Dark Dad 99, with the live gameplay. Jay, what's going on? Talk to these people.
What's going on, people? And by the way, I'm happy that this brother can count.
What you mean? Already? We haven't even got past the intro here, man. What's going on? Like, where'd that come from?
Come on, man.
oh.
We haven't done this in a while, so you know I gotta be me. I can't be nobody else.
Man.
We're gonna
Welcome.
have fun.
Yeah, you are welcome. And our new guest, the true man of the loins.
The true man of the loins. See, this is what I do intros. Let's just get past that, Jay. We're going to let you play hit start on the game, and I'm going to introduce Scar 2710, also known as Joshua Doran. He is my firstborn flesh and blood, and he's going to be hanging out with us on this podcast, and who knows, maybe moving forward. Josh, talk to these people, man. What are you up to?
Hello, people. I am currently not live streaming, but I am currently getting my butt handed to me on Fire Emblem Three Houses on Nintendo Switch because I am super distracted on both fronts here, but it's all good. Okay.
And that's why we have you here. We're going to get to that here in the podcast. Hopefully you guys are tuning in. Now, I think I'm going to be making a decision here in the near future. Might just drop this only on YouTube because I usually stream at mixer.com/endtime. That's XENDXTIMEX. And also on YouTube at Drama Free Gaming. Let me take a moment just to tell you guys that we are also on audio, beginning, I believe, at episode 14, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't go back and put the other ones up, but yeah, if you want to catch 1 through 13, just come over to Drama Free Gaming and look us up, DFG Podcast, and then just enter the number 001 through 13, and you'll find all of those here. We are on Pocket Cast, Google Podcast. I believe we're on iTunes already, if I'm not mistaken, and some other formats that I'm not too familiar with. Breaker is one of those. So, what you gonna say, Jay?
Weren't we on the FM one as well?
Oh yes, Anchor.fm, and that's really the platform where I upload the episodes to. So you might want to go check them out if you're interested in podcasting as well. All we do is take the audio off of this live stream and put it there for your hearing pleasure. So, and again, I think I already said it at the top of the podcast. Jay is playing in the background live as always. He insists, and so we just cut him loose and let him multitask. Who knows? I might just let them have a conversation here pretty soon and jump over to Animal Farm or Animal Crossing. I keep calling it Animal Farm. Animal Crossing. But anyways, before we move on, we got the intros and all that stuff out the way. Just want to ask you guys, as we always start off the show, and I kind of like just have the conversation, what have you been playing is the first question I'm going to ask. I always lead off the show with that. So if anybody wants to jump in, tell me what you've been playing. Briefly, don't get into details.
Go ahead, Junior. I'll let you take the lead on this one.
So, oh man, well, I'm gonna have fun with this. For the last, I think I've put in a good 50 some odd hours into this game. I have been playing Fire Emblem Three Houses on Nintendo Switch. For those of you unfamiliar, it is a turn-based, grid-like strategy game. That just means it looks like a big game of chess, but a lot more complicated, and it's turn-based, meaning you take a turn and the other people take a turn. It is a staple of Nintendo-ness. I have been holding it off for a while, but a buddy of mine actually picked it up for me without my knowing. He downloaded it on my Switch. and said, "Hey, man, you've earned like so much because you've helped out, and we just want to bless you." I had to take it. I had to shut my mouth and go ahead and just take it. Go right with it. And man, I am enjoying this game
All
a
right,
lot.
we don't want to get too deep into it because you are the main topic, and we're gonna ask you a bunch of questions not only on that game, but just on your your overall history. I have some questions maybe that I haven't asked you in the past, so I'm gonna cut you off there on purpose.
Oh.
But what are you looking forward to? I mean, I know you're involved with Fire Emblem now, but what about in the next maybe month, 2 months, if there is anything that you are looking forward to?
To be honest with you, I don't think I have anything I'm looking forward to. However, I have a fleeting suspicion and a fleeting theory that they may be putting one of my favorite PS4 games, Persona 5, on
Okay.
Nintendo Switch. I am hoping for that. So if they do that,
Oh,
then that game.
oh, I got a Persona 5 person in here. Oh my God.
Yes, you do, boy.
Oh
Yes,
my
you
God.
do.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Oh
Yeah.
boy, it's gonna be one of them episodes, people.
Well, you need to play some Persona, man.
So
Sorry.
So were you? I mean, I'm sorry. Before like Jay and I cut you off or whatever. So Persona 5. That's like when's that dropping?
Well, Persona 5 Royale has been released already. They
Okay.
haven't announced it for Switch just yet.
Okay.
That's my philosophy on that. Okay, without going into lengthy detail, Persona was a PS4 exclusive, is still a PS4 exclusive. However, if pattern goes as pattern has been with other PS4 exclusives such as Crash Bandicoot, Spiral Collections, a few others, and the fact that they put one of the main character in Smash Brothers, I was expecting that during what was supposed to be E3 time or video game conference time, they would at least hinted that they were going to remaster it, the Royal Collection, to get a little bit more bang for their buck on Nintendo as other companies have done. We'll just have to see for that.
Okay. All right. Well, you see, this is why Jay, like I was talking to you earlier, like on my way out to WORK, and I was telling you, hey, I need to get my son on here, talk about Fire Emblem that he's playing, and just overall just get into this conversation because he's just a big Nintendo head, and by your reaction already, I know you're excited, so you're looking forward to that. What have you been playing, Jay, out of the 2,000 games you've been playing at the same time?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and start off this next topic since we're going to get to it anyway. Last time we checked, I was supposed to play Witcher 3.
Yeah, you were supposed to make some room in there, like, because you was playing
No,
like
I didn't.
300 games at the same time.
I sat down and I played The Witcher 3, and I'm ready to give you my take on The Witcher 3.
Okay, so before you give me your take, is there anything that you looking forward to playing?
Persona
Anything you
5
wanna add?
Royale.
Persona 5
Heck
Royale.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Man, sorry I
I
asked.
know Final Fantasy VII Remake has been released, and I want to play that. But I've been playing Persona since the PlayStation 1 days, and I can't not play Persona.
Okay.
It would be blasphemy if I didn't.
Wow. It's that
It might
serious,
have to be,
people.
sir. It's that serious, Deb.
It's that
It's
serious.
serious. It's that serious, man.
Well, in all fairness, and I'm only poking fun at you guys. I can't go either way because I've never played a Persona game. I don't even know what it's about.
It's hard to explain.
Very.
It truly is. The only thing I can tell you is depends on the story, the year, which game. Pick a random game and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I mean, when I say I have no clue, it's not like I haven't heard or read reviews or seen videos or, tuned into your, IGN reviews and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. So I kind of have the vague idea of what it is, but it seems like it's a game that it's really involved. It takes some commitment to play this game. Am I right?
Yeah.
You're
Well,
gonna put a
would say
lot of
so.
time into it.
well, if you want to get everything out of the game, you're gonna put well over 100 hours.
Right, right, right.
Well,
Easy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about it. So I mean, it's definitely one of those games that when it is announced, when it is available, it has a huge following, and people like me who have never played it might be curious to play it. I mean, I can't say that I ever will, but I'm not counting it out that I never won't.
you should.
Yeah. So
You really should.
Yeah, you should. So, but going back to The Witcher. All right. So overall, I really like The Witcher.
So how much time would you say you played in The Witcher?
3
Let's
hours.
talk about that. 3 hours. Okay, so you you didn't even scratch the scratch of the surface.
I know.
All right. So how far did you get? 3 hours in.
Um, let's see. I gotta remember because I can't.
Is
I
there
fought
a
the
reason?
Griffin.
Is there a reason that you didn't play it more than 3 hours? I'm curious
There
about
is.
that. Okay.
There
so,
is.
so talk. I'll just give you free reign on it now. So there's a reason why you didn't play more than 3 hours. And did you get to the Griffin?
Yes.
Okay. Did you beat the Griffin?
Oh yeah, me and that. Oh well, it was a war of words when it came to that Griffin. I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you wasn't sidetracked at all or anything. You went like straight story focused to get to that Griffin, because you can easily get sidetracked in that game easily.
well, here's the thing. I know how long. I did my research. I know
Okay.
how long the game is. I know that there's so much to do that just side quest alone is a whole game in itself.
Right.
So I was like, let me get to a certain point, and if it's there for me, I'll rock out.
Okay.
But it just didn't. As good as the game is, I just couldn't get into it.
Okay. Well, now talk to me about that. Your experience and why you couldn't get into it.
It's a good game. I would give The Witcher a 10 all day. It just, I couldn't get into it. I don't know if it's my old age. I don't know if it's the fact that maybe it's old and I know so much about The Witcher as far as little stuff I've read, but I was like, I'm gonna not go by that. I want to go by what I played, and I have a rule: if a game can't catch my attention within a certain amount of hours, I can't play it.
Okay.
And as good as The Witcher is, it just couldn't draw me in the way it needed to.
Okay. Now you're a role playing gamer, RPG gamer, JRPGs, and you just said you had done your research. I mean, prior to me pretty much just nagging you to play The Witcher 3, were you even remotely interested when it first dropped or was announced earlier on? Because the game is like, what, 5 years old now?
Well, see, I've never heard of The Witcher back in the day, so it wasn't like a game that I was like absolutely had to play. Because back then, 5 years ago, I was all about Persona. I was playing so many RPGs and Division. So I mean, brother, I mean, Witcher wasn't on my radar. Let's just be 100% honest. I kind of considered it like Elder Scroll.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, that's pretty much what I put it in that category. And Elder Scrolls ain't my thing, or Final Fantasy 14, or
Okay. So Witcher
Yeah.
So Witcher 3 was your first experience with the Witcher universe?
yes.
Okay. I mean, same here. Same here. Witcher 3 was my introduction. I didn't know anything about CD Project Red and the Witcher series. I didn't even know it was, a book or novels or whatever it is. So I didn't know nothing about the universe. And I didn't run out, day one to pick it up because, like you said, it wasn't on my radar. But when I did play it, I played it on early enough so that, there was still conversation around it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and it lived up to the hype and then some for me. I mean, I still think that the game holds up even today. Like, it's still for me, it's the best developed RPG world there is. And I mean, and you played 3 hours of it, so I don't think you can actually say that. But I played Witcher 3 easily
Wait.
over 50, 60 hours.
Well,
And
I want to
go ahead.
ask you something. You said it's the best immersive RPG world. Like, what did you mean by that statement before
What
I
I
like?
meant, I mean, when you play, and let me ask Josh. Josh, did you play Witcher 3? Did you ever experience Witcher 3?
So I have it, because I will agree with the one point of it has held its value this entire time amongst the gaming world because they remade it for Switch,
Yeah.
um, and so like they also remade Elder Scrolls for Switch as well, which I think it's really ironic that you mentioned that, Jay, because those are two very like different. But when I was playing Witcher, I felt the same way.
Yeah.
I got past the Griffin. I believe I got like right after where like the majority of the map gets opened up and was like, this is huge. What do I do? And then I talked to some people and I read some things up and it goes, do whatever you want to do. It's like Elder Scrolls. So go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, there
So I
really
mean,
is in The Witcher 3. There is a main story, and I'm glad you guys shared that because this is what I'm gonna share my experience. And when I say that, I believe in my experience from the role playing games that I've played, the open world games that I've played, and saying that Witcher 3 is the best developed like open world RPG is because when you play the game, when you do side missions, not once in my 50, 60 hours of gameplay, it might be even more, did I ever feel that any of those side missions were irrelevant or that they were just cut and paste. Like, you know how, we play Division, that's an open world, and
yeah.
you know that the missions is like they're cut and paste. They might be
Oh, absolutely.
different scenario, different enemies, but they're cut and paste for the most part. And it wasn't until I played The Witcher 3 that I was like, every time I found an NPC that had a side mission from, hey, I hear this noise at the well at night, to, you know, my frying pan is missing. That's actually a mission in there. My frying pan is missing. They were all different, unique, and relevant. I never ran across one NPC that offered me the same side quest. There was always, if you felt like you was in that world and there was variety and it was alive because of it. It really immersed me, in my opinion. And that's why I say, and maybe when you play it, Josh, and you start, either pursuing the mission, the actual main story, and you go on a couple of these side quests, you'll pick up on that as well. You'll be like, whoa, this is pretty cool. This side mission here took me to another place on the map, but it wasn't just an irrelevant, go fetch this, go kill that. There was actually like a story there. It meant something. Not to
Well,
mention like the stuff you find, and how you can upgrade the skill tree on there. It's an amazing game. It's a really well thought out, planned out, laid out world. The game design is amazing.
now, well, I will say though, after experiencing what little time I played with The Witcher, I am absolutely excited for Cyberpunk.
And why is that?
because if The Witcher, even though I couldn't get into it and the game has some age on it, I think Cyberpunk is going to be their best work for CD Projekt Red. So I get to see what they can truly do, and I can't wait for it.
A modern game, gotcha.
Yeah. You're talking about like now it's gonna be like more like sci-fi, so that kind of calls your attention more than the dragons and
Wait, brother, I play Shadow of Mordor. Come on.
Yes,
I
but
don't.
what
I
I'm
don't think it's
saying
what you're
is, I'm
saying.
talking about like, well, explain it. I don't know. Maybe I'm misunderstanding.
Well,
Because CD
Okay.
Projekt Red, okay, because the games are different. The Witcher 3 and CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk are two different worlds, two different games. Yeah, made by the same company, but
Go ahead, Josh. I know you ready to get it out there.
No, I think what Jay is saying though is, regardless of whether or not it's another game that takes place in a fantasy world or a cyberpunk world, Witcher's an older game, like 5 years old, you said, and with new direction, new technology, and a new fan base that they're trying to build, new game means a lot of possibilities. And if this was this big game that's 5 years old and it has this much replayability, that's the word I'm looking for. And like they're remaking it again and doing a complete edition for every system and all this other stuff. Like, imagine how great of a new game's gonna be, regardless of whether or not it's set in cyberpunk or in another world like that. So
yes,
right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now, to moot your point, the best open world RPG is Shadow of War. Sorry.
You think so? And why is that?
Because it's just a game. It's just, in my
That's
opinion,
your bias. That's your opinion. That's fine.
I mean,
I'll
that's my
roll with
opinion.
that. I'll roll with that.
That's my opinion. Like I said, I can't really speak on The Witcher because I only played 3 hours. I played Shadow of War 3 times and put 80 hours 3 times each.
I will have to say and agree, if they put Shadow of War, and if I were to get that one, I would definitely playing that a lot more than The Witcher, and I have played that one a lot already.
But you see, and this is where I'm gonna throw a wrench into y'all, argument there, because
You can try.
even though the Shadow War, Shadow Mordor, and the system, I like the system of the orgs and you humbling the orgs and putting them under mind control and all that stuff. Like, I wish other companies would have robbed that system, stole that system, and implemented it in their games. But when I played the game, even though I enjoyed myself, it's like apples and oranges, because some of those missions and some of the stuff was just cut and paste. There was no uniqueness about it.
Well, it depends. How much time did you put into it?
The first one, I took it about 2/3, maybe 3/4 through the game. I never finished it.
Did you play the second one?
No, I didn't play the second one.
Play the second one.
Yeah.
Play the second.
But that's like you saying, I played it 3 hours because, if it didn't get my attention. And I played 3/4 of the first one. And after I've had my experience with the first one, I was like, okay, do I want to play the second one? I mean, it might have this, that, but I didn't see anything in there that really caught my attention for me to want to play the second one, to be honest.
Oh, no, fair enough.
Wrench into your conversation, though. There are plenty of games that you have not beaten that you've gone out and gotten the second one or third one.
That is true. That is true.
After.
But Shadow, Shadow has never, like, the first one, I enjoyed it a whole lot. I can't say, if I had to rate it now, I would say for me it was a 7. It was just fun. It was fun to play. I had a blast. I didn't end it because I lost my interest in it. That deep into the game, I lost my interest. It won't be the first game, but nothing made me want to run out and get the second one when it was announced. That's just me. For that particular game. I'm not saying that it wasn't good. I've seen Jay play it, and I think it looks amazing when they announced it. But to me, I kind of like maybe how you felt about Witcher 3. Like I said, to me, when I looked at the systems and how you were gonna like take over these orgs and all this other stuff, and building up these kingdoms and tearing other ones down, I was like, I ain't got time for that. I'm not interested in that.
Well, there's more to it. Well, see, your Witcher to me is Shadow of Mordor to you. So I mean, so I'll definitely call that. We both got biased, but it is what it is. They both good games.
Yeah,
they both fulfill the purposes that they need to fulfill, which is to be fun and to get my money.
Definitely. And like Josh has said, they just, it's amazing that it's running on the Switch. It's amazing that they ported it over. And
mind you, it's not just running on the Switch, it's the complete edition running on the Switch with all the DLC, all the background stuff, and they even had to re-implement and redo some things that it would run a whole lot better.
Right.
And people are like, this is great.
Right. Yeah, that's just awesome. That's just awesome. Let me move on then from Jay's 3-hour experience with Witcher 3. And,
wow.
Yeah, I'm just
put him on blast. That's not fair.
And let's talk about, and I just want to touch upon it because I was talking earlier with Jay about this. So by the time you guys hear this, who knows? You might hear this a year from now, whatever. We're not gonna spoil anything because, I know how important that is, Jay. But The Last of Us 2, a game that has been highly anticipated, a game that's been in the oven for a long time. Naughty Dog's been with their head down working on this game, hadn't heard anything. Then we heard there was gonna be a release date. Soon after that, Sony turned around because of the C virus and the times that we live in, and basically said, hey, we're gonna hold back a game, again, in my opinion, and maybe many others out here, was already finished. There was no reason to delay it other than, we're not going to be able to release this game the way we want to, which means, make it available in hard copies worldwide so we can get as much money as we can. I'm just speaking the truth, what I believe is to be true. And so they said,
business tactic. It's smart.
Yeah, and so they said, we're going to hold it back indefinitely. Okay? That got people in an uproar. Long story short, the news came out recently that an actual dev from Naughty Dog, released the whole kit and caboodle when it came to Last of Us 2, and spoiled basically the game. And people were, I don't know, really, I heard it, but I didn't look anything up. Jay was the one that was filling me in. So what's the deal with this?
Now, Josh, you know anything about it?
Yeah, I did some. So I saw some like crazy breaking news videos on all this stuff. First of all, it's a business tactic. It is what it is. I mean, it's what Marvel's doing and not releasing Black Widow. That was supposed to be a blockbuster hit. It's what plenty of other companies are doing with not releasing movies and content. I wouldn't be surprised if everyone just keeps on pushing back stuff. I'm surprised that, honestly, between you and me, Jay, I'm surprised that Final Fantasy didn't get pushed back after all the times it's been pushed back, all these something years of it being out.
True. I got news on Final Fantasy as well, but
yeah,
we'll get there when we get.
But no, I looked into it. So, Dad, have you actually beat the game yet?
What game?
Last of Us 1.
No, I'm at the very end of it. I've been streaming it here and recording, and I told Jay that I don't remember that game being so long. The 3 times before that I played it and didn't finish it, but I'm towards the end now. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, actually put in.
And so don't spoil it for me, because
I'm
remained
not
spoiler-free throughout all these years.
Out of every single person in my life who I have seen go through social media and video game stuff, that is the only one who I have ever known who has remained spoiler free
Yeah.
in this game
Yep.
this long.
Yep.
And so I will not be the one to spoil anything that happens at all. Because I beat the game twice. I played the game twice in the house. He has or his stuff set up, and he never got spoiled with it. My mom knows the ending, and she doesn't play video games. It's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the point.
That brother avoided it like the plague.
I mean, it
Honestly, he
wasn't
did.
difficult. It wasn't difficult to avoid it. I just, and even being I'm not on social media like that. So, I pick and choose my stories, even when I'm listening to other podcasts. And the moment I hear The Last of Us, I shut it down.
Yeah.
I forwarded like 10 minutes. Well, I
Yes,
skipped the
bro.
episode.
Without getting into anything as far as like spoiler stuff or whatever. What I was researching, and Jay, maybe you have a little bit more information than this than I do, but from what I was reading up on and watching videos of, what he released are plot points for the story.
No, the entire plot point and the synopsis is out, so you know the
so
beginning.
you know what's
and
going to
the
happen.
end.
That's frustrating in and of itself, very much so, because it spoils the entirety of the story in the game. What I'm reading is that people are getting mad with the direction that they took, more than the fact that it was spoiled.
Well, yeah. The problem is how to do it without doing too much of a spoiler here. A lot of people feel the direction the game went is not what they expected, and they should have just left it alone.
The thing is, though, my rebuttal for that, and what I'm sitting here trying to rack my brain over, honestly, just how I am, just trying to rack my brain over, is when my dad finally gets to the ending.
Oh,
It's really
man.
a surprise.
Oh, that brother, boy, that's good. That ending, boy. I expect a phone call on that.
Yeah, I do too. No, I a full episode of, wow, guys, it's been this amount of years that I haven't been able to get to this ending.
I'm definitely going to
Crazy.
speak about that. Most definitely, I'm going to speak about, probably the only person alive on the planet, that finally finished it, when The Last of Us 2 is here coming out in another month.
Yeah, but my thing is, as I'm reading that, and as I've seen through other Naughty Dog games, going back as far as I believe Jak and Daxter, and the storylines of even a game like that, the Uncharted series, and just a few other ones there, just seeing that and just being like, okay, like I personally, I was more concerned with, people are getting mad because the gameplay is already totally botched. People are getting mad because everything's going crazy.
Oh.
Is that what's going on as well? Like, is gameplay wrong now? Did they switch up all the mechanics and make it completely different? That now it's like for unplayable, or what happens? If it's just a plot line, storyline thing, that's on them. Like, definitely.
Well, let me go ahead and just say it this way: the narrative, and I know your father. And if I know your father, you will absolutely despise Last of Us 2.
And that's what Jay told me earlier, like in a conversation. And my words to that was, or my response to that was that, and I think we can say this in this way, and it won't spoil anything, that people are probably going to be disappointed because the game took on an agenda as a theme.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so because they went that route, they didn't deliver what gamers who have obviously played the first one, beat the first one, were kind of sort of like, okay, the second one is going to pick up on this, and it's going to answer this question and this question, this question, and maybe that's not what's happening now with The Last of Us 2, because they went down this route.
Is that what's going on, though? Because if it is, then, I'm going to be frustrated.
Look, brother, I've deep dove, I've listened to videos, I've read, I've seen, because the gameplay is available as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to tell you guys, but if I tell you guys, especially you,
don't say.
if I tell you, and you play this game, if you play the first one to the end, and I spoil it for you, you will absolutely be like, Last of Us was the best game I ever played. I ain't touching Last of Us 2. I guarantee you.
Right.
And I mean, brother, I know the narrative. I know what goes on, and it's not just about agenda. It's how it's taking place, how it's done, why they do it. And it's just like I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what kind of crack they were smoking.
So Jay, so then in your opinion, or Josh, or both of you take turns, then what was the motivation? What do you think the motivation was for a dev? Wasn't an insider who leaked this information. This was an actual Naughty Dog dev, someone on the inside, to leak this and to put this out. In your opinion,
the reason was, and it's been announced.
Documented.
Yeah, this guy came out because they were working 70, 80-hour weeks, and Naughty Dog wasn't paying them money.
So they was in the crunch mode, and like we hear so many other companies doing, where it's completely insane. But,
yeah,
and that's basically it.
Yeah, because believe it or not, people have been quitting Naughty Dog because of this game. The narrative is so bad, a lot of people want nothing to do with it.
But
so
but wait.
quitting.
The narrative or the crunch? Because you just talked about the reason why. Okay, so he released it out of frustration because they were working 80, 100 hours a week, crunching, not getting paid, and basically, what was he gonna get out of it? Like exposing Naughty Dog and Sony to a reality in this industry? I mean, I'm not saying I agree with it, but
but like more than that though, he exposes a crappy storyline. People draw back. People don't put reserves, and people don't get the game. I mean, you'll still have a couple $1 million, but not the impact that they were projecting.
And that's kind of like so in my mindset is like, okay, we're just gonna sabotage this game and just put it out there, and that'll show them, to treat us like dogs.
Well, you think about it. I'm gonna say it like this to kind of add on to what Josh said, is that in a way, look, if I'm gonna work for you and you not gonna pay me my money, and I'm giving you everything I got on a project, and you throw me the bird and tell me to swivel on it, okay. Now what I'm going to do is, not only am I going to quit, guess what? Guess whose money is tied up in this? Sony and Naughty Dog. So when you make a drop like that, first people that are affected are Naughty Dog. All right, so people are going to investigate Naughty Dog. They're going to find out what's going on. If Naughty Dog gets exposed, and now they're going to have some major problems. And then Sony has to get involved, because guess who owns Naughty Dog? Sony.
I understand all of that stuff, but and yeah, preach it to the choir. I understand all that stuff. I agree 100% with its dirty practices, but when you enter into a contractual agreement in that fine tiny print, if you don't bother reading, or your attorneys don't read it and interpret it for you before you sign on that dotted line, that there is a deadline and that you have to bring forth a product and it's expected to be done and whatnot, I still don't get how all these pieces are coming together, because I can easily argue this away, just playing devil's advocate. You know what? Naughty Dog, you are owned by Sony. You are under contractual agreement. This game was not something you guys agreed to yesterday, a year, 2 years. No, even when The Last of Us, the first one, wasn't done, there's probably, who knows, there's probably gonna be a Last of Us 3. They probably signed up for 3 games, not 1. So all of that could be argued and dismissed easily. Okay? I'm not saying
I agree.
agree with the conditions, but what you know, if you are in this industry and you know this is going on and you're here at the end of the finish line. You've put God knows how many years into this game. You've given blood, okay, to put this game out there. And you are a month from the finish line. You gonna tell me that I'm going to pull the trigger and pretty much commit professional suicide because now I want to expose, Sony and Naughty Dog and all. No, I'm gonna wait till the game comes out. I'm going to get paid, and then I'm gonna walk.
I agree.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know.
That's
professional. Logical man. That's a professional, logical man's idea.
Or the flip side. Or no, listen. Or the flip side. I would have walked a long time ago. But you don't wait to. I mean, come on now. There had to be some other motivation here. Something else.
I mean, we're not going to get 100% of the story because Sony and Naughty Dog will just pay off the employee and bury it.
That's my point. That's my point. And Sony, if we're real, Sony as a company, from what I understand, I don't have any numbers or anything. I'm just your average Joe. From what I hear and what I understand, that it's Sony and it's PlayStation that makes the majority of the money for Sony. It's PlayStation. Okay?
Yeah.
So when I heard this news, and you guys chime in, okay, but when I heard this news, I said, wait a minute, Sony gave a release date. Naughty Dog actually, I remember, I don't know if it was last year, maybe it was a little bit after or before last year. Well, anyways, whatever. But I remember that there had been some sort of interview with Naughty Dog, and that Naughty Dog, because they make excellent games, excellent. But
they've been seen as kings of storytellers in the gaming industry, period.
Exactly. But I had heard, and I wish I could bring up the interview, but straight from like Naughty Dog developers, that they had looked at what The Last of Us 2 was during its development, and that they realized, wait a minute, we need to go back to the drawing board and we need to add this. I mean, like what you just said, they're master storytellers. I'm playing The Last of Us, and it's story-wise, it's a great story. It's amazing. It keeps you locked in. You want to keep playing. And like I told Jay, for me, it feels like a long, dragged out episode, like season. Like I want it to end. I do. I'm like at the end of it, like, please end already because I want to see what happens. And I'm really actually tired of the game. But
wow,
this is why you haven't done it in years.
I'm tired of the game, but it's not in a bad way. I just feel like
did it go too long?
I feel like Uncharted, the last one, like it went too long. It went a couple of chapters too long. They could have tied that bad boy up sooner.
You and pretty much the entire rest of the world.
Exactly. That's how I felt and feel about The Last of Us. I'm not saying it's not a great game. I gave my score. Did I give it an 8, Jay? I said an 8. I think it still holds up, but narrative-wise, we know Naughty Dog is at the top of the game when it comes narrative and game and all this other stuff. But here's my point quickly. The game was announced, a release date was announced, then all of a sudden, and I say all of a sudden in my opinion, Sony comes out, says, no, we're going to hold this game back after we announced it. When you announce a release date, it's because the game is done. Okay? Period. Well, no, listen. When you announce a Naughty Dog first party game that has been in development as long as that has been, Sony ain't stupid. Okay? Sony's not going to announce a game that's not done, especially a first party game. Okay? That's on them. They announced it. No one said, oh, it's going to be delayed another month because we need to tweak it or not. No, it was announced. And then all of a sudden, this whole narrative of, oh, because blah, 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 what I just said before. And then this leak happens. And the next day, I think less than 24 hours later, Sony comes out. And not only do they say The Last of Us 2 is going to release in June, but Ghost of Tsushima is going to release in July.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is the one that's going to get my money.
I'm just saying, like, what made Sony do a double take all of a sudden?
But the thing is, business, yeah. Like, sweet to the answer, but this isn't something that's not common, especially with a big release game like Last of Us. I mean, the fans didn't mind waiting this entire time. At least I don't see that from what we have. But it's not even that long of a wait, even though they pushed it back when they had the release date and they revisited the drawing board. Because I can think of a few. They're not PlayStation exclusives now, but a few PlayStation exclusives, such as Kingdom Hearts, we waited 12-something years for that.
15.
Final Fantasy 7. 15 years. There he is. See, I lost track of time waiting. Final Fantasy 7. This remake has been announced since PlayStation 2 era, I believe. And we got a dev video when PS3 was here. And then they said, no, we're not doing it for the PS3. We're going to do it for the PS4 when it first comes out around there. And then they just kept teasing it and playing with it and blah, blah, blah. The fact that we got even a third of the game is huge. And they revisited that so many times. Honestly, the business practice of waiting and pushing back, like, that's not the qualm. I think that the whole leaking of the entire storyline and the game is someone who's big mad, saying, "Hey, we've stayed with you this entire time, and now this is how you're gonna treat us. We're gonna hit you where it hurts."
Yeah. Did you get the article I sent you about the director being all heartbroken?
I didn't get a chance. I got all those articles. I didn't get a chance to read any of them. I'm gonna say this before you chime in. My thing here is, Jay, are you mostly digital or physical or half and half?
I am 98.8% digital.
Okay. And I'm about 99.9% digital.
About 95% digital.
Okay.
So,
do y'all guys believe that there's been a major shift in the gaming world? Now, you're still gonna have your collectors. You're still gonna have those individuals who are going to get the hard copies and the collector's editions and the statues that come with games and whatnot. But for the most part, do you believe that most casual gamers or whatever are just looking for convenience, looking for accessibility? Digital?
I'll chime this really quick on this thing. The reason why I have personally, like, for me, most of my games are digital because I find better deals on digital. And if I'm going to play a game that I know I'm going to like, I'm going to want it digital, not to carry around everything, especially because Nintendo Switch has cartridges. I don't feel like lugging that around with me.
Right. Same here.
However, if GameStop and working for GameStop has taught me anything, for that brief time that I was working, unless people are forced to, unless the only systems out and available in the entire world are the Xbox with absolutely no disc port and Sony PlayStation makes an exclusive download-only system. Disc and games, as far as retro games, CDs, cartridges, whatever, they are not going out of style anytime soon. Businesses may fall, businesses may fail, but Walmart, for instance, sells video games. They sell them a little bit cheaper than big retail games places. They always have those shelves stacked. In fact, they always have those shelves stacked with the games before their release dates, and people actually line up and go to Walmart for games.
Yeah.
They're not. And the fact that this, personally, I think there's a lot more things going on with the whole Naughty Dog saying, oh, we don't want to release it yet because all this stuff, or not being able to do that. I think there's some truth to that. I think there's some lies to that as well. I think there's like, oh, we kind of need to run now with our tails tucked between our legs. But it's going to be a hit. The fact that people are backing out of this deal with pre-orders and backing out of this deal with expectancies for everything, the collector's editions of stuff, like, it's going to take a hit, because that is where the replayability comes in for a lot of people, because some people will wait. You also got to remember, some people will wait until a game is used, so they find that at a pawn shop before they'll pick it up. And if people just aren't going to buy the game, then it's just going to go on sale for like $15, like we've seen some games go on sale for, and it's going to be sad. Not really. And video gamers talk. We talk. And that's one of the reasons why, even with Witcher, hey, my opinion about it is this, and I compare it to this game, and blah blah blah. Like, one little wrong move with this disc is going to make it so that, man, even people who do digitally only are not going to be able to get the game for free and want to play it if they're not careful.
Yeah, if you wait long enough, it gets the Fallout 76 treatment.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, I agree with you guys 100%. I'm not saying that, that everybody should go digital and whatnot. Like, I have a couple of my Nintendo Switch games. I actually picked up Animal Crossing physical copy because it was at Walmart, and I saved like $12 by buying it, brand new at Walmart, because it was $12 less.
$12 is different, though.
Yeah.
It's this.
It's
Now,
a big difference.
Now, hold on. I want to say this. I love Nintendo. I'll ride or die with Nintendo. But Nintendo does not like doing sales, and they all about their money. That's all I got to say about Nintendo.
Yeah, of course. But you know what? But what Nintendo does well, and we'll get into it here because I want to wrap up the whole, Naughty Dog thing. But what Nintendo does well is that they continue to piecemeal their first party lineup, which is the best out of all the systems. Nintendo has the best first party lineup, hands down, across any and every generation, period. That's why we still go back and buy Mario Kart. We go back and buy Smash Brothers, etc., etc., etc.
Hold it.
Yeah. Here he goes.
Okay, see. you done hit retro. No. Sega Genesis beat out Nintendo. Super Nintendo, I'm sorry. You can burn for that one.
But here's the thing.
Where's Sega now?
Here's the thing, exactly. And Nintendo has always had this saying of Nintendo does, Sega, and now most every other video game company don't.
Yep.
Oh, that's fine. I mean,
he said, okay, that's fine.
That's fine. Okay, look. I'm gonna save it for another day.
Retreat.
But no, I ain't retreating. I'm just gonna let you know. Oh no. I'm gonna say it just like this as a Sega fan. Sega hung themselves.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I am a fan. I am not afraid to admit Sega
hung themselves, and they continue to kick a dead horse, and they that's where they're failing, Jay. I'm my first game, my best friend in the entire world, I cried when I watched the movie, was Sonic the Hedgehog. It was amazing. The movie, the games, I could ask my dad. I used to run around, my little fat self, used to run around with my hands behind my back, thinking I was faster than everybody else. I loved Sonic. What Sonic the Hedgehog is a testament is the fact that Sega has continued to go in a direction that fans do not want them to go. Continue to make bad business practices that they could have just learned from Nintendo. Nintendo has packaged the same exact game with a different, it's 1080p now. We're going to throw in a 200cc Mario Kart 8 because why not? On Animal Crossing characters, yeah, we'll go ahead and put a character for that. You're racing the same exact tracks, the same exact cars, the same exact concept for Mario Kart. You're doing the same exact party games for Mario Party. You're doing the same exact levels for Mario Super Mario Brothers. It's the same packaged game. They make it pretty. Everyone goes buck wild crazy, and they never put them on sale.
You know what? You know how many you know how many games I can name with that whole explanation you just gave? I can give you God of War.
I mean, absolutely.
I mean,
That's the thing. All of
Nintendo-
these companies that are pre-packaging and repackaging their games, they're doing that. But the argument is, hey, dude, it's on top. No, man, Sega died. And they had them. They almost had them, Jay. They really almost had them.
Well, like I said, I'm no fool. I'm crazy, but I'm no fool.
No one's, Nintendo a long time ago, and we had this discussion. I think, Jay, you had asked, when was it that Nintendo kind of like went off and started doing their own thing? It was like during that GameCube era, and
Hold on.
Nintendo. Yeah, you told me that. We both were in agreement with that. That was our last podcast.
Yeah.
It was the GameCube.
I had to think about that before.
But I'll tell you what. But Nintendo has appealed to their audience. They have not tried to stand in there in the same ring to duke it out with Sony, Xbox, with nobody. They said, you know what? We're just gonna come over here on our own little island, do our own little thing, and we're just going to appeal to our fans, old and young and in between, and we're gonna give them what they want. Fun.
I agree with
Games.
you to this extent, though. I agree with you to this extent. And I think this is a beautiful thing here. You are absolutely right. They have made fun games and have stayed to their lane. What has started to happen now is you've seen how many, again, PlayStation exclusives, Xbox exclusives games have ported over to Nintendo systems now.
Yeah.
It is no surprise that I have Elder Scrolls, Castle Crashers, and there are a lot of games. Borderlands just got announced for Nintendo Switch. BioShock series just got announced for Nintendo Switch. They have done all of that, but then they're picking. I think they're picking the cream of the crop, all these other companies, and saying, "Hey, we can offer this. Our fans, our people. Those are the games that go on sale a lot, Jay. We can offer all of these things. People can come over to Nintendo and be like, hey, Nintendo, I've always loved Mario Kart. They got Elder Scrolls, a game which, by the way, is way older than most people like to admit.
Elder Scrolls is like
so,
on ColecoVision.
It's
don't
still,
take
though,
that
super
far back.
huge. That's what I'm saying. I think that thus far, the move that has been on here, yes, they have stuck to their own lane, and I've been super excited about that. But something that has changed in the atmosphere has been, they've been taking watch at the games that, thus far, there have been a lot of games that I have seen on Nintendo's stores now that they're the complete edition of Game of the Year games.
Well, that's easy. Nintendo don't want to make the same mistake they did with the Wii U.
Exactly. Which
The Wii U didn't have any third-party support. Wii has a ton of third-party support, and that's where they failed with
Switch.
the Wii U.
You mean Switch, not Wii.
I mean Switch. I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
But the only reason, the only reason why I believe that the Switch has the support of and is gaining the support of third parties now, because the third party games that are on there, either they're not that technically demanding, minus Witcher 3, and that was a port done by another company that was not CD Projekt Red, and they did an amazing job, just like they did with what's his game, Warframe. No one ever thought that Warframe was gonna run on the Nintendo Switch, but it's on there. It's portable. Games like Paladin, no one thought that, but it's there. It runs great. But this is my point. This is what I want to get to. That these third-party games that are coming over, and this whole let's jump on the Switch bandwagon, Nintendo orchestrated that and have set it up to a point where they're like, okay, we can run it now even if it's straining our system, our current system. But who knows? They might be thinking already, okay, the Switch Pro, the Switch 2.0, we might make a system that's a little bit stronger
Oh,
to run
you
some of these.
already have.
What do you mean they already
They
have?
already have. They just snuck it onto the market. Switch
The
that
Lite?
I have right. Oh, no.
The 2.0.
There,
Yeah.
there's
I
a
got you.
there is a new Switch, new hardware, longer lasting battery,
Yeah.
bigger processor power. Like they did,
Right.
and they just snuck it
Right.
onto the market and just what it
Wait,
is.
how do you know you have the upgraded one though?
It's something in the serial number
Yeah.
and the packaging. Like I have one of the original Switches because it's one of the ones that came out when like it first came out. The packaging, I believe, like the original packaging wasn't like, okay, so the newer packaging on the box, it's red, Nintendo Switch red, but then on the serial number, there's the first couple numbers on there, meaning that you have a version 2.0 Switch that has stuff on there.
Yeah,
Wait,
if you buy a Nintendo Switch now, more than likely, if you bought your Nintendo Switch in the last year, I want to say, you have a Nintendo 2.0.
Is the box red?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a 2.0.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a 2.0. Yeah, because I still got my box from my original one. It's not red. So
okay.
yeah, it's not red. And you know, if you go to GameStop or whatever, that's all you're gonna see, and they're gonna tell you, yeah, Nintendo 2.0. They'll refer to it as that. If you're gonna get a used one, refurbed, you're probably getting the first one.
Nice.
Is what you're getting. But anyways, I mean, this has been great conversation. I don't know about you guys. This whole Nintendo thing. This is why we have Josh on here as well. I want to just jump in here. Let me move the topic along, Jay, because we over an hour already, and I'll let you speak your mind here in a second. But
hey, you did say I'm my dad's son. I talk too much too.
Well, it's been relevant. It's been just chill conversation, and everything, and it's cool. I want to just say this. I want to kind of chime in on my Animal Crossing experience. I did a podcast solo and spoke about Animal Crossing, and I told you guys I knew that if I played this game, I was gonna get hooked on it because of just my personality and the game loop and all that other stuff. So I'm not gonna repeat that. But I will tell you guys now that this is, again, just to remind anyone out there, and if you haven't heard any previous podcasts, this is my first Animal Crossing experience. I didn't know nothing about the world, nothing about the game, nothing about the characters, nothing about the gameplay, nothing at all. I am, as of today, I'm 70 plus hours into the game. And I'm going to say this. I'm not even going to talk about the game. What I think about the game, I'll save that for another time. But this is the first time since I've purchased the Switch that I have actually played it both docked on the TV and have taken it with me and have actually played it in handheld mode. It is the most use that I've given my Switch out of all the games that I have for the Switch. That for me is a testament. That I just gotta say, the power of this game. And I'm not only gonna say just because of the times that we're living in, because we're shut in, that helps. But I'm out and about. Like, I'm still working, and I still gotta go about my business and whatnot. But whenever I find some time to play this game, I'm playing it. Like, I'm not playing any other game outside of The Last of Us that I'm trying to wrap up, and I will. It's been all Animal Crossing, all of it. So
I can't beat that, brother.
I'm just, and I think I heard that they've just sold, and this number might be wrong, don't quote me, but over 3 million or more.
Animal Crossing. I think Animal Crossing is the best-selling game on Switch as of right now.
Yeah, like the best. And I'm talking about they sold like 3 million It released March 20th, I believe.
Yep.
So those are just the numbers for March. So how many days in March? 31. So that was like what? 10 days? 11 days? They sold that many. And mind you, they had the special edition console. So only God knows how many systems they pushed. But yeah, Animal Crossing has taken the gaming by storm, and
Not
I'm happy.
well.
I'm happy.
Well,
I
Animal
love the game.
Animal Crossing's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
It's
know
just
that.
people just caught on to it, and
No, I
now
don't
all of a
think that
sudden
people just caught on to it. I think that there's
it
a
was a niche.
combination. Yeah, it's a combination of people are shut in. Um, the marketing I think has been excellent. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
like Nintendo is on top of their marketing. That's something we haven't talked about. Nintendo knows how to market, and how to really give their games, especially their first party games, and their more popular games, the spotlight. Something I wish
Well,
that or I'm kind of hoping that Xbox gets better and better and better. I think they've been doing a good job, but they can take some pointers, and PlayStation as well.
well, I think that Nintendo knows who to market to,
Mm-hmm.
as what's been getting is what you're really the point should be, because who does Nintendo market to? Families. That's it. They don't, not grown men, not women, not children, but family. And then everybody else goes, well, hey, why not?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and Nintendo's smart for doing it, because you get the family involved. That's just more money in our pocket. I mean, I know I shouldn't say it like that, but business
Oh,
wise,
that's
I ain't
it.
mad at him. I ain't
Yeah,
mad at him at all.
it is what it is.
I mean, it's working for them. Why change the formula when it's been working, for all this time? And that goes back to what we were saying earlier. Why is Nintendo and their first party the number one across the board? Because they keep giving you what you want on every generation, on every system, and you and I are willing to go back and pay that money for it
Every time.
every time,
Every
every
time.
single time. And we're not mad about it either. We actually get excited
Oh,
and look forward to it, and feel like a fat kid on Christmas. Like,
mm,
yeah, this is
yeah.
great. And like Josh said earlier, it's the same game. It's just it's not 720 no more. It's 1080.
Oh,
And it's portable now. And
one
yeah,
of one of the things that I was looking at with Animal Crossing, because I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't at all interested in it. Um, but one of the things that have helped it a lot has been community that it has come out of it. Um, because of just the way that the game plays. Sort of like, really, it's sort of like Minecraft in the sense of the creativity. Man, I have seen people build towns that are replicas of famous video games. You named them, like Final Fantasy. I've seen people remake Pokemon's Pallet Town. I've seen people do costumes and things like that for animes or for superheroes, and they're just walking around their town collecting tarantulas and talking to raccoons. So
yeah,
Hey,
I think it's a combination of they know how to market to their fans, then because of the creativity of it, and the entire situation where we're in now, where no one has basically for the people who are non-essential with Corona, being forced to be stuck at home. Like, hey, look what I just made in my Animal Crossing town. Oh snap! Is that the Millennium Falcon in island form? Yes, it is, because I know how to do this crazy stuff. Here's the code. Oh,
that's it.
yeah. It's
That's it.
it's
That's
it's
it.
definitely, yeah. It's like I just heard not too long ago the last update for Mario Maker 2 was released, and they gave, I mean, that update brought a ton of customization and things that people have been asking for. And it's almost like bittersweet because they're like, wow, we got all of these updates and upgrades and all this other stuff. But, the support only lasted for what, a year? But that game has infinite, infinite customization.
Oh,
When Mario Maker Part 1 came out, man, I was hearing about that for a while. Like it was years of that game because people would just do the most ridiculous of stuff.
Yeah.
And um, when Mario Maker 2 came out, I mean they didn't change much from what I understood, but it was crazy. But again, I look at Animal Crossing, and a buddy of mine and I were having a conversation of it. One of the reasons why I can't get into Animal Crossing is because there's a little bit too much freedom and not enough direction. And he equated it to, hey, this is like not exactly like Minecraft, but it's pretty much has the same concept as Minecraft. You get in, you collect stuff, and you build. And you get in, collect stuff, and then you build again, and then you destroy, and then you build, and it's great because you just get to relax and whatever it is you want to do. Um, yeah, and for some strange odd reason, I guess that's where you and I differ in games. Dad is like I like great customization games to a certain extent, but much freedom stresses me out.
Well,
It
I
does.
will say this. There is, because I'm 70 hours into it, okay? And I don't play Minecraft. Let me just say that. I'm not even gonna say I don't like Minecraft. It's just not my type of game. Like visually, I can't deal with it. It messes with me. I've said it in the past. That's not a slight at Minecraft. With Animal Crossing, the loot, yeah, it's there. The, like what your friend said, gathering the material, selling stuff off, you fall into this pattern and this routine and this habit of doing certain things over and over and over and over and over again. There's a satisfaction with that, and there is a progression, because even 70 hours into it, I'm still learning now. Mind you, I'm a first time Animal Crossing player. Like never played the franchise before. So I'm still discovering new ways and new things and how to go about things that I didn't know in the past. And that keeps me coming back. And so, for me, when I looked at that I've been playing this game for 70 hours, I'm like, what? No, I haven't. It doesn't even feel like I've played 70 hours. But when I think about it, yeah, I log in every day, like religiously, and I am on that game. And I make sure that I, check in at the service center. I get my Nook miles. I clear my inventory. I make sure I shake them trees for them sticks and all, everything that comes with it. But there is a lot of substance, and just when I think that there's nothing is coming to that point where, okay, what else is there to do, then here comes another character, another provider of services, whether they're selling art or bootleg art. That's what, there's a fox there
wait,
that
what?
he
Did you
sells
say
bootleg art.
bootleg art?
Yeah. It's a fox called Red. He's an actual fox, and he has a ship. And so you eventually get invited into his ship. The long and short is that he'll have like 3 or 4 pieces of art. They could be a statue or a painting, and it's for your museum. You could only buy one per day. And the thing is that they're based on real live art, like real world art, like our world. So the fun of it is that you get to see it in the game, and I go over to Nookpedia and I look at the actual picture of what the dude is selling in the game, and I look at the real world one, and I'm comparing it to see if it's authentic or not.
Wow.
Because if you buy it, you're gonna pay like almost 5,000 bells. That's the currency. It's like 4,900 something per piece. But then when you take it to your museum, and the owl, his name is Blathers, when he assesses it, if he knows it's fake, he's not gonna take it for the museum. He's gonna say, nope, this is a phony. So then you're out like 5,000 bells. So,
Man.
but it's
Wow.
cool. It's like one of those. It's like one of those elements in the game that it's like, yo, this is cool. Like, I find it like it's really cool. Now it might sound boring and stupid for some people, but that's just one of the elements of the game that I like. You know, I like going to visit Dusty. Shout out to Dusty. He's playing the game. I like visiting his island and, you know, bringing back some of the fruit that is native to his island, coming back and planting in my island. And then it's just the loop of it is satisfying. It's really satisfying, and it's really chill. You can play it like you were saying, Josh. You've seen YouTube videos, and I have as well, to try to get some tips. But I've seen some YouTube videos of people that have taken the game to a whole other level. I mean, like, they time travel. They have their cities looking like, you know, medieval times, or themed out like a cemetery or whatever it is. I mean, people that you know are either really familiar with the franchise, and they just gone, you know, deep into the game. That's cool. But you can also play it on a level where you're just chilling. You're just relaxed, chilling. You don't really have to think about nothing. You're just going about your business. If you want to fish all day, go fish.
Now I got a question. You know, you said this Fox, he sells bootleg paintings, right?
Yeah.
Please tell me I can go and jack this Fox up for selling me a bootleg painting. I'm sorry.
No, you can't jack them up.
You gotta get. If I'm dropping $5,000 on the painting, and then some owl be like,
And give me 1 second, Josh. I see your text. Let me. I saw that your headphone. Okay, what about now? Say something, Josh. Hello? Hello?
Josh there?
Yeah, let me unmute you, Josh. Hold on. Are you there, Josh? He says headset died.
Oh, man. We love you, Josh. I'm sorry.
Josh, are you on them wireless headsets? No, I just unmuted you. But you were saying, Jay, no, you and I'll work here on the Discord trying to get Josh back in. But you were saying, no, you can't jack no Fox, bro. You can't jack him up. That's on you.
What? Why not? Why gotta be on me? If he's selling me some phony goods,
hey,
I think I need to go over there and take him out.
You kind of figured that he's phony like that from the beginning, because the first time you encounter him, he's trying to sell you some mysterious painting that you have to buy it, but he tries to sell it to you for like 400 and something thousand bells. And you know, you gotta look at him like, dude, you crazy. And as soon as you say that, he's like, well, you know, you're like family, I'll give you the cousin discount. And then he sells it to you for like 4,000. There you are, Josh. I hear you.
Hi.
Wait. Did you say that was the cousin discount?
Yeah, he said, he calls it the cousin. He says, yeah, you're like cousin. You know, you're like family, like a cousin. I'll sell it to you for 4,000. So he chops the price down from like 400,000 to 4,000. So,
you know, that is something like a cousin would do.
We all got one of those, right?
We'll give
Josh,
you that family discount.
Yeah, he's still with us.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Give you that family discount. Like, nah, I'm gonna give you these family knuckles, bro.
Oh man.
You're gonna rip me off. You got to catch this. I'm so.
Hey.
Man.
Hey Jay, if you want to get any frustration out, just use him in Smash Bros.
Nah,
boy.
Nah,
No, he plays with Kyle. That's him and Kyle playing Smash Brothers out there. That's, you know, that's their thing.
You know, my son has played Smash Brothers more than I have.
Look at that. Yeah,
my friends, I got Smash Bros. And I let my friends play it, and they've put in more hours than I have.
Yeah, so I mean.
Yeah, I got Smash Bros. And I love the game and all that stuff, but you know, I have it more for like, you know, when my nephews come over and whatnot.
I got a question. Does Kyle play or does his wife play?
Both.
Well, Kyle plays. Kyle plays. His wife is better.
Yes, much better. Always has been since the beginning.
She's
So
better at
I wanted to.
Smash, better at shooting.
Oh wow. Now here's
Yeah.
well, while we're on the Switch, Josh, I would like to ask you,
What's up?
what got you in to Fire Emblem?
Yeah, and that's what
Okay.
I want to get into. Fire Emblem. Yeah, give us a history of that, because we know
Okay.
you love that
Do you
series.
mean this game in particular or the series?
No. Talk to us about the series, and let's build up to Three Kingdoms.
Okay. So,
Three houses.
Three
three
houses.
houses.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Okay. So, Fire Emblem has been deemed a lot of different titles. It's Nintendo's like this is the game that Nintendo goes to when it's turn-based like grid-like strategy RPG. Since the beginning, we're talking about for Nintendo stuff out there. It's been labeled as one of I have seen this and Castlevania be leveled as the hardest games ever. Um, and the reason being is like, I mean, it's to the point where Nintendo had to like dumb it down on certain generations for America because they felt it was going to be too hard for Western audiences. Um, the reason being is it's a strategy game that is has been primarily a permadeath game, meaning that if any of your units and any of your characters, you spend countless hours trying to level up through the different systems that they have of battle, trying to learn the different mechanics and save them. If any of them die in any battle, you do not get them for the rest of the game at all. Um, which they changed that starting with the 3DS version, Awakening, which fun fact is still $54 used at GameStop right now, and that's without any of the DLC, which there is plenty of DLC to go around. But that's so I would try to get into it because I was into, starting it into role playing games around high school. It was super fun. The characters, the story, the lore was amazing. But I will have to go ahead and concede and say, no, dude, it was difficult. I there were certain games that it was so hard, and I would try. There's a triangle based battle system where I believe like swords beat axes, axes beat lances, lances beat swords. There's archery, there's a magic system, there's different creatures like dragons and beast lore. There's different classes like ninjas, knights, mages, dark mages, light mages, all this other stuff. I The Game Boy version, the Game Boy, which was a thing marketed to kids mainly. I didn't get past chapter 3 of one of the Game Boy games before I basically lost everybody. And when you lose everybody, it's okay, you can start again, but really to do that for the 20, sometimes 30 odd levels of the game is ridiculous. However, they made when they came to 3DS, um, I waited all the way to 3DS, and I got into the series with the 3DS because they started a mode called Casual Mode, where you can still have the difficulty of the game, the strategy and everything is still there. It is still ridiculously hard, and you still need to get into the system of everything, but it wasn't permadeath. So if I died at all, which I do a lot of that, I try not to, but it happens. Um, I am not penalized for the rest of my game by losing my main character, who I have trained and I have loved on and I have upgraded to the wazoo. Um, on the 3DS versions, there were three main titles. I say three main titles because Awakening, the $54 used game, all the DLC that was included for it was amazing. It is one of my favorite games. I still have this game. I still go back to this game. It was beautiful. They just redid a bunch of it. They added a relationship aspect to it. which wasn't cheesy. It was if you have two characters of opposite genders on the battlefield next to each other while they're fighting, they would support each other, they would grow, and then there was, spoiler alert, but this is a game that's been out forever. There was a time travel aspect where their children would come and you get to recruit them, which was really cool because depending on the stats of the two characters that you played with and that you developed a relationship with, to determine the stats and the class that your kids came back as. And they did the crazy thing where Fire Emblem, it's called Fire Emblem Fates. It was 3 separate games that was one story. So to a certain degree, they would get to each game, started off the same, first 7 chapters, absolute same, and then they present you with the choice, and the choice is you pick one side of the war or another side of the war, or you don't pick at all. And those were 3 full games, each of them harder than the next, like literally. And then they remade a game that was so hard in Japan, they never released it in America for the 3DS, and that was awesome. It was a different take on Fire Emblem. They added a couple of things from the modern day, including the no permadeath system. Anyways, that brings us to the Switch. This one takes a little bit of everything. So ridiculously hard. I've put 40 hours in, and without going into complete spoiler detail, because I don't want to do that for whoever's listening and is considering it. Like the other game I mentioned, Fire Emblem Fates, there are 3 storylines to this game. So essentially what it is you start off as a mercenary. This is all in the description for Nintendo's website, so it's not anything spoilers. You start off as a mercenary who gets hired as a teacher in a monastery, and you have to pick between 3 kingdoms to teach. And so I have heard, and I agree with this, Jay, I think you would like this if you're even interested. With the teaching side of the game, so there's 2 sides. There's the teaching side of the game, and then there's the battle side. With the teaching and exploration side of the game, it's very much like Persona 5. Very much like it. It is not like exactly, but it's like, wow, like I can definitely see how you guys took from this, because it's one of those things of you have a certain number of ability points to go about your day, complete little side missions for your students, develop relationships with your students, do things like cooking classes or singing in a choir, things like that. But the more of those points you use, however you choose to use them, determine the upgrades and the strength of your team on the battlefield. And so dude, it is ridiculously great. And so I picked without knowing. I have been holding off on this game. It came out the day after my birthday last year, so July 28th, 2019. And I held off because I knew that if I was going to get this game, it was going to be like my dad with Animal Crossing. I was going to be sucked into it and not have any time for anything else. And my gaming catalog is not as extensive as my father's. It's getting there.
Just play your games. That's all I can ask.
That's what I'm saying, man. But no, it has grabbed my attention. It has kept my attention. A friend of mine made a comment the other day, and they go, "Josh, this is the longest I have ever seen you play one singular Nintendo Switch game since you got your Nintendo Switch, and since I've known you, period." But no, it's extensive. There is a lot of twists and turns. And the thing is, with like every other game, that's out there, well, mainly every other game, but every other Fire Emblem game that lets you have this choice, I've already completed the one storyline of the house I picked first. And then it allows you to, hey, you want to pick the other storyline and see how that story is? Yep, of course. And you would think that, oh, okay, you know what the deal is, the major plot points and everything else like that happen. To a certain degree, yes, the main story does happen in every storyline. However, it also changes depending on who you are in the game, as far as like what kind of teacher you are, who you recruit, from your class, and I found this out as I'm playing the game. Like one of the first things they teach you how to do is if you want other students from other kingdoms inside of your team, recruit them by doing certain missions, which is totally awesome. So you get to have like a super stacked team whenever you want. But it changes the gameplay ever so slightly every single time you play. So I am going to be putting in a lot of hours into this. And I just got the DLC, which kind of also is ridiculously hard, but it adds yet another storyline that's totally different side story, more characters, more classes, more abilities for you to do. So it's pretty fun. And that's my soapbox.
This brother went out here and preached about that fire. I ain't mad at you.
I will say this. I'm going to vicariously live this game through my son.
Brother, I've never heard anybody do a sermon on the game. I almost wanted to say amen for a minute.
Hey, you should have got up, said
Hey, if
hallelujah,
was
ran
here, he
around
would
your
have.
living room.
I am feeling the Holy Spirit today.
I muted my mic, stretched back, watching you battling in this baseball game and listening to like this novela. This is what that is. Let me ask you, Josh, and I know we've had conversations you and I in the past, and I mean the game sounds again, it's when I hear that games are as intricate as this, I just it just makes me smile and say, it might be a game that I never play, or if I do, I'll never play to completion. But I appreciate when developers really put their heart and soul into a game. And you know what? If it takes you 5 years, 6 years, 10 years to get it right, do that. I mean,
agree.
there's plenty of games to play, but if I can get treated to one or two masterpieces like that in my lifetime, I'll be happy. I'll be okay with that. Like I played Witcher 3. I want to go back to it. I think I can pick it up because I'm not going to play from the very beginning. And I know that that's going to be a game that I'll eventually finish. And it's up there, with those games that I really actually enjoy playing, but that you can look back and say, this company, these producers, they took their time and they gave you an experience that you'll never forget.
I agree.
And that's just an amazing thing. But what I wanted to ask you, Josh, earlier we were talking about, Nintendo and Sega popped into the conversation, and you said, you was a big time or are a big time Sonic the Hedgehog fan. When did you get into the world of Nintendo, or let's just say gaming? Let me just ask you, how was that born?
Oh, I guess this is just for the nonsense sake with you, Jay. I was playing video games before I could talk. My earliest memories of anything is having a controller in my hand with my dad and seeing that. And I watched him play Rainbow Six, Black Arrow, and Vegas, like when they first came out. I remember having a Dreamcast, which was amazing. I still think one of my favorite systems.
I still have
used
it here
to.
on my desk.
Yes, you do, which is ridiculous.
See,
Um,
hold on. I must say you raised him right. He likes Dreamcast.
yeah.
He's about retro. Hey.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, here's the thing, Jay. I have a list of games at, like, let's say I have a 3DS right now, right? I have a list of DS games I will actively look out for because they were my favorite DS games. I had a DS and they had the Game Boy cartridge. I would have a list of Game Boy games I would actively look out for because they were my favorite Game Boy games. If I am ever playing a retro emulator, or like when Nintendo said, "Hey, we're gonna release retro games," will actively look for certain games because personally, just for not even nostalgia's sake, but it's just something about older games that are like, to me, I enjoy them a whole lot more and even newer games today. And that's one of my big issues is, and like a big, and you're a Capcom fan, Jay, so you'll appreciate this. A big example of this is Capcom versus Marvel 1 and 2 being compared to Capcom versus Marvel's 3.
No, you can't do that. Can't do that.
I can.
You,
I preferred part 2 a lot more than I did part 3.
Well, part 2 was just beautiful.
Part 2, I believe, was oh man,
I mean, I own them both. I own them both. Sadly enough.
I agree. Part 2 was better.
I'm not knocking. I am not in any way, shape, or form knocking part 3. Not at all. Just for a different slew of reasons, man. It holds a special place in my heart, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
To go back to the question before I get all over the place, watching you play, Dad. Yeah, I know. I'm you. Watching you play really got that on it. My parents raised me right in the aspect of they wouldn't let me like forget about schoolwork and responsibilities. So I had to. My parents limited my playing time of video games during school to the weekends. And even then, it wasn't like totally like, oh, you have free liberty to play the entire day. Like it was, hey, you have a set time to play video games. Man, it was to the point where, again, my favorite games were Sonic the Hedgehog games. Sonic the Hedgehog Adventure, DX for the GameCube when it was out, but I had it originally on the Dreamcast, and Sonic Adventures 2 Battle with Shadow the Hedgehog. Yeah, I could beat that game every single weekend, memorize all the lines for that game to the point of I could recite to you the entire game, who you were, every single secret was. I went back and watched some gameplay videos to go see, hey, where did Sonic the Hedgehog go wrong as far as like making great games? And oh, hey, look, gameplay videos. And I still remember the lines from the games.
Wow.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's like engraved into my brain. The fact that like, wow, here's the plot point over here, and then this level is going to be like this, and then the power up is over here. Like, it was to that extent. We were never big. Like, I mean, I remember my dad was totally not against it, but like he preferred Xbox, always has preferred Xbox, more than PlayStation for the majority of his gaming stuff. I remember when he had our first Xbox in the house and Jet Set Radio. I couldn't read. That game required reading.
Jet Set Radio.
I love Jet Set Radio. I remember every single song that was Jet Set Radio. And I love that game so much. My dad and I.
Your dad got a couple songs on that list of music I sent him, but got some Jet Set Radio on it.
Some Jet Set stuff.
Yeah. It's one of the best soundtracks ever made. Like, it literally has like awards for that. It's fantastic. My dad and I played through the original Halo and Halo 2. Original Gears 1, 2, and 3. We didn't get to do 4 together, but we both played 4 separately, and that's just how it was with that. We played plenty of I was my dad's multiplayer game whenever there wasn't Xbox Live, but we would go through games like that. We got a GameCube. It's fantastic because Mario Sunshine and Double Dash. Double Dash, by far, if they make a Double Dash remake, I'll cry. I'm just saying, if they make a Sunshine remake, by the way, I will cry. Which I'm sick and tired of seeing all these rumors. But no
rumors on that's coming. This
35th
year anniversary.
You don't need to get into that, sir. Don't. So I think what I have always been, when it comes to gaming, where I really like fell in love with it. I know there's a big long story to do the history of it, but handheld gaming. My niche I have always preferred handheld games more than a system. Which is why I like My Game Boy collection was ridiculous. I had a Game Boy. My DS collection, I had about 40 games on the DS that I would lug around with me. I found a case that held every single one of those games. In a neat little pouch as well. It wasn't like all just thrown in there. Like I took care of these things. I remember in a garage sale, I sold all of my games. That was Nintendo DS, and I got about $200 for them.
Oh wow.
Because they were like not like, oh, we're gonna play, Brain Age. Like no, like it was every Mario game that came out, every Zelda game that had come out, and like just all of them, like crazy Mega Man games that they're making remakes to now. I love those. When my 3DS came out, I re-got like half of those DS games. I had like 40 games cartridge and like 40 other games downloaded. Um, is That's just how I am with my handhelds. So when the Nintendo Switch came out, that it was a system quality games, like home system games, but you could play them portable. Oh man, I had to jump on it. I had to. Like never have I ever played, some there's some top tier stuff on this. I'm just like shocked and amazed. They're able to. It's portable now. Easy. That's why like when Witcher came out, the only reason why I checked out Witcher, Jay, wasn't just because my dad hypes it up all the time. It was because it's on Nintendo Switch. Take it and play wherever you want.
Wow.
And Elder Scrolls, I got on a limb.
You sold him on that.
No.
Where it was. He didn't even know about it. I found out about it on my own time.
Yeah.
I asked him, I'm like, dude, what did you think about Witcher? And he goes, oh, it's one of the best games ever created. I'm like, you know what? Why not? I found it on sale. And I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. And I did the same thing for Elder Scrolls. I have Skyrim. Haven't gotten anywhere in that game, by the way, if you're wondering. But it's there. Complete edition, it's there. And I would never have picked it up if it wasn't for the fact that it was on Nintendo Switch that I could play it portable. Because I'm telling you right now, majority of the time on Fire Emblem has only been portable. I think I played a few chapters just to show my buddies, hey, this is Fire Emblem, because one of my other friends got it for me. And so he's playing the same exact story as I am. We pick different choices. We're comparing and just geeking out. He goes, what are you doing in this level? I'm like, here, I'll just show you on the screen. I think that's the first time I've ever put my Switch on the dock, not to just charge it in years. Yeah, and I've been portable all the way. I was portable for Zelda, been portable for Mario, all the Mario games I've picked up on here, the Lego games I have on here, like the whole nine. It's just how it's been. Again, I don't know what it was. Mind you, I've played PlayStation. I've had a PS4 and a PS3. I've gotten fully in depth. Kingdom Hearts will always be my favorite gaming franchise. No, because Sonic's been failing me lately. But Kingdom Hearts will always be my favorite gaming franchise that I will. I know if and when they finally decide to port everything to Switch for Kingdom Hearts, I'm going to cry. I will absolutely cry. They put it on Xbox One, so they need to already chop.
You need to go ahead and contact Disney. Tell them to make it happen.
So I'm not holding my breath for that one. To be honest with you, I wouldn't put it past them, considering the fact that there are Nintendo exclusive Kingdom Hearts games that were fantastic. They were able to remake for PS4. Why not make it for Nintendo Switch, the collector's edition on there with all the games like you've been doing, and just give me all of them? I'm fine with that. Between you and me,
sir.
I've always been a wishful thinker when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't like to say, it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. I mean, Nintendo, they march to the beat of their own drum, and a lot of people, figured Nintendo would never, do Well, let's say the handheld. Like you just said a moment ago, you're like almost 100% handheld. You don't remember last time you docked it, maybe to show a friend a game or something. But I was the opposite. I've always been the console gamer, and the Switch when they first announced it, I was like, I don't know about this whole portability thing. How good is it gonna look? How long is the battery life? Do I
If
really
you
want to walk
remember,
around with a
Dad,
console? Yeah,
if
go
you
ahead.
remember, you were also concerned because a lot of people were comparing it to the Wii U,
Yeah, yeah, and
which
so
was
was
an
I.
issue.
So was
Yes,
I.
absolutely, which was
Yeah,
a big issue.
yeah, yeah. Which I think and thought back then that when I saw the Switch, I said, okay, the Wii U was not a bad system. A lot of people gave it a lot of hate. I think the Wii U was just like a prototype where they were just testing out a lot of stuff that eventually became the Switch. You know, there was some stuff on the Wii U that made no sense, like when you played it, tablet mode, and then they would
Yeah,
split that screen up into four when you was playing Mario Kart. Like that made no sense. But
not at all.
but but like I said a couple of minutes ago, or maybe a half hour ago, whatever, Animal Crossing has been that game that I have played the majority of the time on the handheld, to the extent that I just got your mom a Switch Lite.
Oh boy,
She asked me for it because she wants to
I want to
play
talk about it.
Animal Crossing.
I do not want to talk about it.
But let me tell you, I held that in my hand and I was like,
Hmm.
this is nice. Like it's light. It feels solid. Um I was like, this feels good. But I know
Hmm.
me. I've always been a console gamer. And I like that option that I can dock it and put it on my TV and play it like that if I want to. Um, and that's just I'm just glad that the success that the Switch is having. Call it whatever you want to call it. Perfect timing, perfect storm. Us being in quarantine, whatever. Um, I'm just glad that the Switch, when these consoles are coming to like this generation's end, the Xbox, the PlayStation, the Nintendo just seems to like look like it's just picking up more steam. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, there's no reason why Nintendo should even be thinking about a Switch Pro. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No, don't think
Just
they
leave it
will.
alone. Just leave it
Yep.
alone. Give it another, year or two. If you keep releasing, if they keep releasing the games like they keep releasing, they ain't gotta worry for like maybe 2, 3 more years.
Yeah,
Oh, I disagree because I want to go ahead and just be that guy that says it's going to be a lot longer.
You
They're
think
going to
so?
keep on doing this, dude. Dude, they I know that things are being pushed back with quarantine. They announced Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
When have they ever done that?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I know there's still people waiting for what's that game? Metroid
yeah.
Yeah, and
for
the
this.
thing is, they absolutely could. They could make a new Metroid. They
Yeah.
could make a new Star Fox. Besides the one that they already did. Um, they could make a lot of crazy like first party games. Then, and I know you remember this. They put Castle Crashers on
Yes.
Nintendo Switch,
Yes. Which
and
I love
and
Castle Crashers.
See,
one of my favorite games.
I'm not. I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm?
Out of the Switch right now, Luigi's Mansion 3 is on my target list.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
same here.
Hey,
I just
yeah.
picked up Link's Awakening.
Oh, good
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
it like I'm just there waiting for like, a Saturday where I'm here where I can just again, I'm going to be playing it on dock to start it off cuz I want to take in all that glory. And I
Yeah.
never played the original one. So that's why I want to like play this one and enjoy it.
Oh, that's where like it's perfect. What I was about to say though, Nintendo has opened up a lot of craziness because all they really have to do, mind you, they can put their retro games out. That'd be awesome. We have the Super Nintendo Retro with Nintendo Live and whatever.
Right.
If you've noticed, they're either one reviving or like not revive, vitalizing old games and remaking them. So your Link's Awakening and a few others that are coming out, and porting other games into the system, Witcher, Elder Scrolls, Borderlands, BioShock, and I mean they put Crash Bandicoot on there, and Spyro, which is they've had Minecraft on Switch and Terraria.
Right.
With full capability to be connected to your Microsoft account, which one of the greatest ideas ever. Really, that's all they need to do. Nintendo DS or 3DS, for a majority of the time there, they were just remaking games and saying, and now it's coming on the 3DS. Like the Mario role players, for instance. There were like 4 or 5 Mario role playing games. Superstar Saga games is what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hold on. So that would be Super Mario RPG, Super Mario, Superstar Saga 2.
No, what I'm saying, not RPG. It's Superstar Saga. They never did for some reason. I don't know why, but I really hope that they get up to date. They skipped over Partners in Time, did Bowser's Inside Story, Dream Team, and then they released a new one.
You see, those games that you just mentioned right there, I would love on the Switch.
Yeah, that's what
pick
I'm
them
saying.
up. I mean,
all
in
they
a
have to
heartbeat.
do.
Just, what?
All they have to do.
10,
Because that's what they're
15,
doing with
20 bucks?
Mega
I'll
Man.
pick them up.
Oh, they're doing that with Mega Man right now. They're just taking Mega Man games, putting them all in a collection, and saying, "Hey, here's the 7 games that we charged you $40 for when they came out individually. Go ahead and buy them again."
Right.
Wouldn't put it past them, because for this new Mega Man game that came out, Mega Man Z and ZX Collection, they put Mega Man ZX and ZX Advent on the DS when it first came out. But they also redid Zero, the collection, all 4 of the Game Boy games already. And so, no, I don't think at all that it is beneath them to redo a game multiple times on a different system. That's what they do with Pokemon literally every single generation. A new generation, and they remake one of the old ones on the newer system.
I'm still waiting, and you know what? I think I'm gonna end the podcast. We're going on 2 hours. But I want to end it on this high note. If there is, and I'm gonna give y'all some free reign on this, either a series or 2 to 3 games that you would want on the Switch, what would it be?
Hey, you go first.
And let's go round robin. I'm gonna name one, then you, then Jay, then we'll come back. All right.
All right, on the Nintendo Switch, what would I want?
On the Switch.
Chrono Trigger remake.
Chrono Trigger remake. Okay. It's that Chrono Trigger.
Boy.
You guys, I mean, you guys can
Which, by the way,
I'm not gonna take that moment from you.
Rich, he makes a good point. They've already done that so many times, it wouldn't put it past them to do it again.
I'm not talking about an HD remake. I'm talking a remake.
Oh, like Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yes.
You mean like a reimagining of the game?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, a reimagining. Not a remake, not a remaster. But yeah, a remake is the correct terminology. You know, just a reinvention of the game. Yeah. Reimagining. Okay, you know what I'm waiting for that I would pick up right now if they announce it? Pikmin.
You know they're gonna do one. You know they're gonna do one.
They had the Pikmin on the Wii U, right?
Oh, and for Wii and for GameCube, you know they're going to.
And I love
had
that
one
game.
on the 3DS, dude. They're going to.
I love that game. I really want a Pikmin game for the Switch.
Definitely.
Yep.
I've already said mine earlier in this one, and I will hold true to it. I'm not holding my breath, but I would legitimately, I would buy it right then and there, regardless of what my financial status is. If they release any Kingdom Hearts games, Nintendo Switch, I will go crazy. I think it's I think it's going to be one of the best things in the entire world.
Okay.
You know, if I had to go with another one, give me Advanced Wars. Give me an Advanced Wars collection.
Advanced
Wars,
Wars.
the tank game.
Oh, you guys never played Advanced Wars?
The one for the Game Boy.
Yeah,
turn-based strategy game.
Turn-based strategy game where you have to think. That game is a beast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. I know what he's talking about.
Okay. I want for this game. But it would have to be built from the ground up for the Switch, not a port, because I want it to look right and play right. Is a Monster Hunter World.
Ooh. Knew that was coming.
Yeah, I would buy that game on the Switch, but it would have to be made from the ground up, not a port, because that game is just, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful game, and when it's running right and it's looking right, the experience is just, it's flawless. So I want that game built from the ground up for the Switch, a whole new Monster Hunter. It doesn't have to be Monster Hunter World. It could be a whole new Monster Hunter.
Not Generations again, right?
No, not Generations, not Monster Hunter World, not Iceborne. Just a Switch exclusive built just for the Switch. I know I'm dreaming, but but just built for the Switch. Can't find it anywhere else.
You're gonna have to wake up from that dream, bro.
Yeah. Maybe before they release Monster Hunter World, because Monster Hunter is like most always exclusive to Nintendo, except like a couple PlayStation ones. But yeah, now I don't think so. It may.
Oh yeah.
It may.
Well, I'm just saying we're just dreaming, so it's just a dream.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, so you got one more, Josh. Jay, you got one more, and I got one more. I got to dig deep for this one, so you guys take your time.
I have a fleeting suspicion. A couple games, like I said earlier in this podcast a lot, Persona 5 is definitely up there, but I have that as the last one. I think that Nintendo, I don't think they'll do a collection of it. But if Nintendo purposely skipped Partners in Time, the Mario and Luigi saga, the role-playing one, that they could put it on the Switch, I would not be mad. I have played all of them, and Partners in Time was by far my favorite Superstar Saga game.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, Jay, you got anything? I'm still breaking my brain here about one more.
You know what?
Oh,
and I know. Nah, I know it's coming. I know it's
coming.
Put
Assassin's Creed.
No.
No.
No. A new Punch Out.
Oh,
I don't know why I didn't think about that. You took it from me.
I ain't take that from you, baby. I ain't take that from
you. You should have just said Ready to Rumble.
Oh man, that team they done burnt that team, left them on the cross.
Oh.
No, but actually, Jay, you might have a point.
A new Punch Out would be real cool.
Oh, maybe a thing, and because they're hear me out on this crazy rabbit hole really quick. They're porting over a character from ARMS onto Smash Bros. That would be a perfect thing because they remade it already for the Wii, or they did a new Punch Out for the Wii. They did a Punch Out for the Switch, was both portable, could be marketed as both portable and handheld, and then threw in like an ARMS character just for good measure on there.
Yeah.
Me.
But see,
like
you can make the ARMS character a special character, and for good kicks and measures, you beat the game and do a certain amount. You can unlock the original. You can unlock Super.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about like having an ARMS character in Punch Out. That would just, I think that would mess up my experience. But that's just me.
Well, it's just like a special guest character. Like you have to do something special to get there.
Yeah, I hear you.
Not just be like, hey, the first character you face is Prison from Arms.
Right.
I don't think it'll be. God.
Yeah.
What you got, brother?
I'm gonna go dig. Let's see. What I'm thinking here of what game, and I'm. You know what I would like to see? A whole new reimagining on the Switch of 2 games. Can I say 2 games?
Take it away.
Gauntlet
Oh wow.
would be a game that I would like to see just completely reimagined on the Switch. Of course, I want to see that online 4-player mode. But that's if the online was any good. And another old game would be Golden Axe.
Well, you can go get you be like remade or just
No,
play.
reimagining. Just a reimagining of Golden Axe. Like, you see how, and it's going to release here, or did it release already?
What? Streets of Rage?
Streets of Rage 4.
Oh, I'm buying that.
Yeah, I want something like that for Golden Axe.
Oh, I'm buying.
But not just contain it to, because Golden Axe is a real short game. I want like a fleshed out, pick a path, more customizable characters. Maybe you can level them up. I want it like fleshed out, reimagined Golden Axe.
You should play Dungeons and Dragons.
I've played Dungeons and Dragons. I don't like it, to be honest.
What?
I don't want it that way. Nope.
Oh,
nope.
okay.
No. I don't want it to be just like a hack and slash, and all you do is just throw D&D characters in there, or throw Street Fighters in there, or last whatever final fight. No, I want something fleshed out. That's just me. I don't know if that makes any sense, but anyways, guys, anyways, we have gone about 2 hours and 4 minutes going on. This has been the longest episode. It's been a great conversation. I just want to do some outros now, and I'm gonna let Josh tell us, what are you up to? Promote anything that you want to put out there. Who knows? I mean, we are a humble channel, and the podcast is very young. But, just like I've discovered a lot of podcasts years and years and years later, I'm listening to a podcast now that's like been out since 2005, and they have 1,000+ episodes, and I just discovered them. So who knows? You never know who's gonna listen when. But promote yourself. Where can you be found if you want to be found? And then I'll turn it over to Jay to do the same, and then we'll close out. Are you
Take
there?
it on.
Oh wait, I think he probably disconnected again.
Did he disconnect?
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
Well, I've been on here long enough. You guys know how to find me. I'm Dark Dad 99. I'm always gaming. I'm always here.
Okay, Josh should be back.
I try to pop. That's about the best way you can find me. But how about you, brother? How can these people sniff your scent out?
Well, for me, you always gonna find me either here, Drama Free Gaming. On YouTube, I play games for fun. It's not a serious thing for me. I've said many times, for me it's a escape, an unwinding thing, sometimes therapeutic. It's a good time for me when I can get together with some of the fellas. If not, I have no problems playing alone. And again, just putting out content here for games that maybe are a bit old. The Last of Us, I know, is an old game, but I put it out there, just in case, like me, you haven't ever played the game, and maybe you don't want to play it, but maybe you can live out that experience through my gameplay.
Yes,
However good or not it is, I got a couple of games in my backlog. I'm looking right now at Bloodborne, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn. And
Oh,
so those are games, and those are physical copies. For whatever reason, for PlayStation, I like getting the physical copies. Maybe because, like my son said earlier, for me it's easier to get digital on Xbox because I'm invested 100% into Xbox, always have been, and I guess that's where I'm gonna stay. Um, but yeah, Josh, you're not muted on my end, so maybe try to like jump off and come back on. Okay, how about now? Hello, hello.
Hear me now?
Yeah, I
there
hear
he
you
is.
now. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's just page.
All right.
Um, sorry.
So we just getting done here with outros again, guys. Find us at DFG Podcast here on Drama Free Gaming on YouTube, and of course on any podcast platform, Google Podcast, Pocket Cast. I believe we're on iTunes, Breaker, and Anchor.fm, and it keeps getting distributed from there. But Josh, take us home. Where are you at? Where can you be found if you want to be found? What are you doing outside of gaming? Talk to us for a bit.
So in addition to, well, I'm not a streamer like my dad and the rest of the crew. I actually, shameless plug here, I actually do Christian hip hop. Been doing this for years. If you're interested, um, what I believe is good quality music that you can show your friends and your grandmother. Um, Joshua Doran. That's JOSHUADORAN. And that will literally be everywhere that you can listen to music or think to listen to music. Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, even YouTube. I have some videos that we've been putting out because quarantine gives us a lot of free time. And yeah, that's what I do. And that's who I am.
Nice.
Cool. I want to have you definitely back on so you can talk some more about your music, when you started, what
Yeah,
have been, how the journey has been up until now. Give you some free reign on that and just bring that in, and maybe talk some more gaming in the process as well. So it's been
absolutely.
it's been great having you. I hope you had some fun out here. We've had a
I
blast.
did.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. I've learned a whole lot about you two Nintendo fans. I I call y'all Nintendo fans, and that's a compliment because you guys are like in the lore. Me, just no, leave me with Luigi out here, and I'm good.
Oh,
So
you
yeah,
crazy man.
that's another thing. Let me say this, and you guys can chew on that. But I've always chosen. I don't know if it's called the underdog or the alternate, whatever hero. Like, if I had to choose between Ryu and Ken, I like Ken.
Ken.
If I had to
Yep.
choose between Mario and Luigi.
Or
And that's
Wario.
just and Wario. Yeah, Wario and Waluigi or whatever. It's Wario. So I don't know.
Yeah.
This is maybe something the way I'm wired, but I just always
Yeah, it's
pick
just,
that second character.
it's
So
just the way it is, brother.
it's just the way it is. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed the gameplay. Hopefully the video held up. I didn't notice too much, and the audio comes in crystal clear. We'll be on next week, hopefully around the same time. Appreciate you being here. As always, be good to one another. Do good, and keep your life and your gaming drama free. Later.